You watch a steady stream of cars slide through a modern, automated tunnel. The spinning brushes apply active polish, the heavy blowers kick on, and as drivers happily hand over $15 for a 5-minute wash, you do the math. Hundreds of cars a day with minimal direct labor. It looks like the ultimate high-margin passive cash machine. But the actual math paints a far more punishing picture. Operating an automated car wash is a highly capital-intensive, operationally demanding real estate and utility play disguised as a simple retail business. Building a modern, high-volume express tunnel requires a massive barrier to entry that would make most small business owners spin. You cannot simply rent an old garage and buy some soap. Bringing a new site online easily ranges between $3 and $5 million in upfront capital. Once the doors open, you carry the heavy debt service on that specialized equipment while fighting a relentless war against fix-it overhead. Corrosive chemicals and constant mechanical wear and tear eat into your operating budget every single day. You might see crowds paying $10 or $15 for a basic wash and assume the owner is printing money. But by the time they pay for the municipal water, the electricity to run those massive blowers, and the specialized detergents, that single retail ticket barely covers the cost of keeping the facility open. To survive the heavy debt and overhead, the smartest operators realized they could not rely on selling individual car washes. They had to abandon the traditional retail model entirely and engineer a completely different economic engine. The massive physical requirements of this operation become obvious before you even reach the payment kiosk. You need a prime, highly visible parcel of commercial real estate with a massive physical footprint just to handle the stacking lane, the runway required so 30 or 40 waiting cars don't spill out into local traffic. Curious, analytical tone. But the heaviest expenses are buried in the invisible infrastructure. Think about a commercial gym, which spends tens of thousands of dollars upgrading industrial HVAC systems just to legally pump fresh air into a room full of sweating people. A car wash scales that hidden infrastructure to an extreme degree. This diagram shows the true scale of the site. You have to install high-voltage electrical hookups to power 20 different 30-horsepower blowers. You need specialized oil-water separators and massive underground water reclamation tanks to process runoff. Getting permission creates a terrifying regulatory moat. Operators battle zoning boards and secure strict environmental permits before ever turning the water on. Before a single drop of soap touches a windshield, the business is already functioning as a heavily regulated multi-million-dollar industrial wastewater treatment plant. Pulling up to the automated pay station, we can see exactly how the economics of that basic $15 single wash work. That single wash operates on the exact same logic as gasoline at a gas station. Fuel is a brutally thin margin product, designed primarily to pull drivers onto the property so they will buy a high-margin cup of coffee inside. For a car wash, the basic ticket is the fuel. It is a low-margin loss leader, relying on those single weather dips to stay perfectly flat. To fix this fatal flaw, the industry pivoted to a completely different strategy: unlimited wash clubs. This statistical math powers commercial gyms. Gyms survive by betting that the majority of paying members will rarely show up to use the equipment. Car washes charge $30 a month for unlimited washes, betting the average member washes their car about 1.5 times a month. Because people get busy or forget, the wash captures massive, high-margin, recurring revenue. It completely flattens chaotic seasonal dips. Through this subscription math, the car wash effectively transforms itself from a volatile, weather-dependent service into a highly predictable, textile, recurring revenue business. The profit extraction continues seamlessly as you exit the tunnel. Pulling into the vacuum bays, you enter the next phase of the operation's retail psychology. This layout uses a strategy called the capture trap. Commercial airports use this exact same psychological concept by forcing relaxed travelers through winding, high-margin duty-free shops immediately after they clear security. A car wash organizes its physical layout to do the same thing. They offer free self-serve vacuums, but bays are strategically positioned directly next to high-margin vending machines, selling detailing wipes, scented air fresheners, and tire shine. At the kiosk, you are constantly offered automated upsells, like premium ceramic coatings. These chemical add-ons cost the operator mere pennies in raw materials, but add $5 to $10 of pure profit to the final transaction. Once the subscription pulls a driver onto the asphalt, the physical architecture is designed to extract maximum retail wealth from a captive audience. Zooming out to look at the entire operation, you can see that despite the brilliant subscription math and clever lot layout, the business is constantly fighting existential threats. Operators are locked in a volatility trap. The enormous fixed costs, like the commercial land lease, property taxes, and heavy debt service, do not care if it rains for 2 weeks straight. The meter is always running. To compound the pressure, these rigid financial obligations rely entirely on a high-turnover, low-wage labor force. Much like the supermarket industry, owners are forced to constantly recruit and retrain part-time staff just to keep the operation moving. In this environment, a single distracted worker who misaligns a car on the conveyor track can trigger a catastrophic chain reaction. A mechanical sensor failure or a sudden conveyor pileup can damage multiple vehicles in an instant. This shuts down the tunnel for days of expensive repairs and exposes the owner to devastating liability claims. Managing an express car wash is a relentless, high-stress balancing act, pitting massive financial leverage against the daily unpredictability of human error and mechanical breakdown. Ultimately, buying an automated car wash means stepping into a highly leveraged chemical and utility play. Its survival relies entirely on utilizing advanced subscription math and spatial psychology to engineer predictable cash flow out of a deeply chaotic environment. So the next time you sit in an automated tunnel, surrounded by spinning foam brushes and colorful soak, know that the spectacle outside your window is merely the front end of a highly optimized financial machine.